Hello, this is Bridget Rau with Divine Essentials. Okay, guys, I have the Starseed Tarot and the Star Tarot. I didn't even realize. I guess it's because I'm a Starseed. Anyways, we have energies here for the collective, and this could be how you may be feeling at this time. This could be how the energies are impacting us at this time. There's been a lot of weird shit going on in the collective, I've noticed, out there. I feel like some of it is like not real. I don't know. It's real, but it's like some of it's manufactured, because if people do that enough, they can make things become real. So if you feed into things in a negative place or a scary place or a place that's like, what the fuck, try to limit the amount of time that you spend seeing those things or feeling that way, like don't juggle your safety. Try to stay committed to your spiritual path. We are coming to the end of a cycle. Something is closing out, and I feel like a lot of people right now are choosing to walk away from this cycle and towards your independence, towards your confidence, towards your abundance, towards stability, strength, and ascension. So you've likely had some difficulties. The ascension process isn't it, like, I don't know. It depends on who you are, okay? If you're one of the people who just like came aboard and like invoked your awakening, it may not have been as intense. But for most people who come for a spiritual awakening, there's usually a catalyst, and I feel like a lot of people have been through probably levels and layers, and life in itself can be a catalyst towards your ascension process. The more people who awaken, the more frequencies that shift, the more that the collective experiences this, the more it will impact all of the beings here. The Master of Crystals, within this deck, I feel like it's more so about like mastering. The masters are like the kings, but it's like mastery of self, mastery of the mind, specifically when we have the skulls. The crystals is about like your pentacles, okay? That's your solid wealth and your stability. You're protected. Nine of Pentacles is what this is. This is the World card here with the Ascension. It's basically completing a chapter, knowing more wisdom, gaining more stability within yourself, because this isn't necessarily about money. It depends on what your idea of goodness, like wealth, wisdom, wise, spiritual, like, because the pentacles are fucking pentagrams. It's like a spiritual level of attainment that goes along with the level of material wealth, and all of that goes hand in hand, and it's a journey. Sometimes you have to walk away from things that test you. Sometimes you'll get stuck. Sometimes you'll get hurt. Sometimes you'll be bamboozled, or you'll even have outside interference come at you. Sometimes you are the interference. But people have been waiting for things, I feel, and they've mastered something within themselves to recognize where they've been carrying burdens for too long. This is the 10 of Wands. It's like, fuck this. I don't want to carry this shit any fucking more. I just leave it here because it's a fucking mess and I don't want to deal with it anymore. And like, this is something that sometimes you can look at as like, is it okay to just like walk away from this mess? Because some people do this. They go in, they make a fucking mess, and they walk away and they just leave it there for somebody else to pick up. And unfortunately, you're going to find that in this world. And sometimes your mess, it doesn't matter who fucking contributed to it, you're going to have to pick it up yourself. And you're going to have to decide when to let things go, and when to no longer wait, and when to ascend and fucking go towards what this is, like your value and worth on yourself. Like if you're allowing shit for too long with the way that people treat you, it's going to reflect in your self-respect. It's going to reflect in what you can attract to manifest, because you're proving to yourself every day that you're not worthy of better, that we allow these people to not treat us in a way that's reflective of our value and worth. So we've got to change our mind on that and walk away from that mess at some point and say, you fucking clean your mess up. I'm fucking done waiting. I'm not doing that. I don't care what you do with your mess, but I'm gonna go fucking fix mine so that I can, rise. And the seeker of chalices is like emotional, and like this could be like, this is like the apology card and things like that, but I feel like this is more so because it's in this deck. We're seeking emotional fulfillment from ourselves rather than other people or other things or this fucking place, this world. It's like, this world is pretty, like, and it's hard because if you're somebody that knows and notices and cares and has empathy and has compassion, this is not an easy fucking place to be. I don't care who you are. Maybe the starseeds feel it more because we're supposed to. If not, we're not gonna, like, you have to become really uncomfortable sometimes to change. And that's what's happening. How many fucking days do we want to carry this shit around before we decide to rise into our light and use our powers to manifest the abundance that we need so that we can fucking change this shit show? We can unite within ourselves. We can transform and alchemize this chaos. We can commit to ourselves through our practice, our spiritual evolution, our awareness, going within, meditating, seeing things differently, and recognizing that we do have the power to control and create and manifest whatever it is that we need. It's going to be slow, but we will acquire what we need in order to do that if we follow our passion and we follow our joy and we ignite that within us, and we don't allow our fears or other people to keep us from taking action and doing what we need to do to drop those things, to find our self-worth and our love of self. Again, no fear, no allowing the fear to sabotage or keep us stuck, or allow the opinions of others or the behavior of others to keep us down for too long, because we've got to, remain balanced. And again, that's responsibility of ourselves. If we allow people to come in that don't evoke a balance or they just hurt us, at some point we got to choose to take the love away from other people and back to ourselves so that we can clean up our mess and deal with ourselves and have our transformation process. There could have been, just a lot of different things that we're adding to situations for people recently. It may not have just been like, there was a romantic situation, or maybe you had more than one person that was connecting to you, or you had somebody else that was connecting to multiple people, or you had family problems, or some sort of karmic thing on your own. They could have had karmic things. There could have been people around you that were like working with you, people around you that you don't even know, that just don't like you, or people that you wouldn't even think know or care or pay attention. This world's a lot different now, so you may start having clarity about things too, and recognizing like what you should and shouldn't share, where you should and shouldn't share, who you should and shouldn't be near. You know what I mean? Just like figuring out where you really stand, and where other people may be standing. Just getting the clarity to protect yourself, see the clarity, see the truth, so that you keep navigating back into tower moments or difficult moments, again finding the value and worth to move forward on your path towards calmer waters. So there's no more illusions, there's no more distractions, there's no more karmic crap shit shows. So you could be igniting a new passionate start somewhere, Finding your passion, finding that alchemy, finding the light to overcome the heartache and the pain and the Three of Swords, the fears, the Eight of Swords, so that you can have that death transition and rise through the ashes like the fucking phoenix into this energy of the Six of Flames, which is like the victory. It's even like a V there. Victory as that Hierophant, listening to that higher call of spirit, the guidance system, and doing what you're called to do. And it's hard. There is shadow work. Sometimes we gotta go into the shadow, and we can forgive ourselves when that happens, because like I beat myself up every time I have to like deal with just this world. And I know that I am probably more sensitive than maybe other people. Like the other day, I saw a picture of two birds, and they passed away. But the story with the birds was that there was one bird, and somebody was at their house. They heard a dunk, and they walked over and they looked, and there was a bird on the porch dead. And then a minute later, another bird came, flew over, stopped, and like hopped over the little thing, went over to its friend, and laid down next to it and died. Right there. And it like, I don't know, like somebody in the comments was like, oh, that's just acid rain or whatever, but it's like, there was another person, because there was like, people going back and forth about like the cause of death or whatever, and they were like, it doesn't even matter what the cause of death was. Like, that other bird came in and chose to go where it went to pass. It chose to bring its head right to its buddy and put itself next to its friend and go. And I was like, so distraught. I bawled so hard, because this world, I don't know what's happened. There's so many mean people, and it's not even like people want to be mean. There's just so many people that are cold, that are just cold, and it's almost like a defense, because everybody's hurt. And I get it, but the pure spirit within that bird who chose to pass with peace and consciousness, awareness of where it was going to do that, and an acceptance and a peace to allow things to happen naturally. There's a lot of messages wrapped within it, and I think everybody should try to understand it the best way that it makes sense for them right now to do in their lives, to have the acceptance and the awareness of what's transitioning and how you choose to go forward, what you choose to bring with you, including the weight of the opinions of others, the choice to accept and have an awareness of what is and what you know about others, and what shadow you want to allow to remain too long, to hide things, or when you finally feel like you're not done being cold or alone or in that dark, you can illuminate and find your way into that light. And that's why we've come. And I know it's not easy all the time. We have to go through this to get to the other side of it. And each time we go into it, we do end up on the other side of it. We just have to allow and accept when we're there. In Mune, Namaste.